Would you believe that I actually woke up too early on a Tuesday? It's 4:30. My coffee's done. I'm dressed. I'm packed. But I don't need to leave for another 30 minutes, so I guess we're just gonna piddle fart around for a while. For a second. I made it to work and I have gotten to the 40% point in There by Tommy Orange. I really like it. I'm not like totally invested yet. I think because there's so many characters that we're following, it's hard for me to keep up, especially so early in the morning. I feel like my brain is kind of turned off already. But I do really like it. The narrators are very good. All of the different POVs have different voice actors, which is nice and helpful when it comes to keeping them all apart. So yeah, that's how I feel so far. Nearly halfway through. I'm enjoying it. Definitely more than the audiobook I DNF'd and replaced with this one, so that's a positive thing. But yeah, now it's time to work. Time to go to work, time to roast some beans. Let's go, baby. So the workday was not bad. It was easier than last week, but not easy. Because it's holiday season, people are like ordering double what they normally do, so I just feel like I'm nonstop filling bags of coffee and roasting coffee. But it was a good day. I did get through like 70 pages of A December to Remember, and it's good so far. Nothing crazy special yet, but I do have hope. I don't mind the characters. They all seem pretty interesting. The story is intriguing. So I don't have high hopes, but I do have hopes. But now it's time to go see my mom and my sister and my nephew. You know the drill. I'm so exhausted. Good morning. It is Thursday, December 19th. Had to consult the calendar of my brain. I don't have much of an update for you, but I thought I would go ahead and talk about There by Tommy Orange since I finished it yesterday, and also give you an update on the book club book, December to Remember. So There, I gave 4.25 stars in the end. And I'm not sure I'm totally satisfied with that rating. I don't know if it's completely accurate. I know that it wasn't a 5-star for me. There were times that I got lost in the story, and for me that's a sign that I'm not fully engaging. I'm not fully integrated into the story. I'm not as invested in the characters as I would like to be. Perfect example would be the berry pickers. I was so invested in those characters that they became like family to me. I wanted to know more about them after I was done with the book, as opposed to There. When the book was over, I was like, wow, that was really good. And then I could put it away and not really think about it much further than that. But the storytelling was really good. The writing was amazing. I found myself wishing multiple times that I had had the physical copy so that I could underline and annotate things, which is always a sign of a great book to me. And it wasn't on par with the 4.0 star ratings that I've given out. So it's better than a 4-star book. It's just not quite a 5-star book, if you know what I'm saying. I enjoyed learning about all the characters, but I started to get kind of lost in the sauce because there were a lot of them. It helped that there were 4 different narrators in the audiobook, so it was a little bit easier to kind of keep them all separate, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to keep them all separate. There were a few characters that were very different from the rest for me, and so I always recognized their stories when it switched to their POV, but there were a few that I started to get confused. Overall, really good book. I would recommend it. I could see this book being labeled as a modern classic. It's that type of literature. Like there's so much symbolism and so many things that you could unpack. You could write an essay on this book easily. There are so many things that you could dive deeper into. I would love to own it. I would love to have it on my shelves over here. It was very good. I think 4.25 is where I'm gonna stay right now. It could, if I thought about it long enough, be more like a 4.5, but I think that's the highest I would go. So that's There by Tommy Orange. Now, the update for A December to Remember. I am 12 chapters in. I'm on page 105, and I'm not super invested in the story. It's a cute book. It's an easy book, but I'm not just like itching to pick it back up. A couple of notes, I started making notes on my bookmark so that I would remember. It does have queer representation, which we love. There's a lesbian couple that's like front and center. So I like that. One of the characters very early on you see is supposed to be like the voice of reason character. And I like that, and those characters definitely have their place, but I think that it was a little too obvious. Like the author was pushing it too hard, being like, hey, this person, she knows what she's talking about. She's the voice of reason. She's able to analyze this character's emotions and figure out what the root of it actually is. And like I said, that's great. I think that there's a place for that kind of character. But I think I would have liked it to be a little bit more subtle so that I was able to read between the lines to figure that out for myself. And I think that's just a personal preference. Like I like to be able to dissect my books a little bit more. I don't want it to be like crazy levels of undercover motifs and symbols and things, but I do want it to be a little less obvious than it has been so far. There's a character that is in a, I guess you could say, a situationship. It's like a best friend, and they're in love but they're not dating, but they're together but it's a secret. The sister who's like with him, her reason for not committing to a relationship is like the I'm saving him from myself type of thing. And I don't like that trope. I think it's overused a little bit. And it just kind of irks me. Like, I don't like the idea that someone would keep their distance from someone they love just because they're trying to save them from their own problems. Because to me, a relationship is like, you're both working out your problems together. You both have to have problems to do that. And every human has problems. Anyway, that's gonna get on a whole nother tangent. That's not even about the book. I'm just saying that I don't love that trope, and I really hope that the trope kind of gets out of there. I hope they solve that quickly, because there's no other reason why they shouldn't be together. Like, they're perfect for each other, it seems, so far. And it just bothers me that that's the reason that they're not together. That she's like, oh, I'm so broken. You can't be with me because it would hurt too much for both of us if you were with me. And it just feels very pity party. And I don't like that. So those are my thoughts so far. Obviously, I'm not very far in. Like, things could change. Overall, I do like the characters. I like the diversity between sisters. All their personalities are a little bit different, but all kind of complementary to each other. So I like that. There's one that's kind of like hippie woo-woo sister. There's one that's kind of homely and boring, and seemingly stable, but she, has her problems. And then there's the lesbian sister who's in the queer relationship, and she's kind of the cranky, crotchety one, but also overly protective, and you know the type. Sorry, you can hear my coffee maker. It's literally right next to you. But those are my thoughts. I think that The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison is going to become available on Libby today, so I'll probably start listening to that at some point, and then maybe you'll get an update on that. But I think this is going to be the end of Vlogmas Day 11, because I already have some footage before this that needs to be thrown together. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.